Here are some luxury cars for under 5 grand. Now don't expect any of these cars to be reliable in any way. When a car is more complicated, it is more expensive to repair and there is a lot more to go wrong. But nonetheless, let's get into it. The Mercedes CL. These cars are ultimate cross-continent cruisers. 3-litre V6, Burbly 5-litre V8, or 6-litre V12. Didn't matter which one you went for, they were all brilliant. Not very reliable, but nonetheless brilliant. You could get the same engines in the Mercedes S-Class. You could get them in long or short wheelbase forms. Both will be under £5,000. You could get a 2007 100,000 mile or so diesel or a 2001 5-litre V8. If you're using your brain, then you'll go for the later diesel. If you're not using your brain, then you'll go for the 2001 5-litre V8. But they're still good cars. If you have the money for the V12 and if you have the money to straight pipe it, then please do it. If you do want a high powered version, that be the V8 or the V12, then you'll be expecting a high mileage, very early car. Although it's not a wise decision to buy an old used Range Rover, it is still a luxury car for under £5,000, so I'm going to include it anyway. There are a few engines to choose from within our £5,000 budget. In earlier models of the L322, you can get a 3-litre turbo diesel straight sixth. If you don't like your wallet very much, you could get a 4.4-litre naturally aspirated V8, which produced 282 brake horsepower. There was also a 3.6-litre TDV8 that produced about the same, or there was the 4.2-litre supercharged V8 out of the Jaguar XK with nearly 400 horsepower. If you can afford to run a car that does 15 miles to the gallon, then I urge you to get the 4.2-litre V8. Now, let's tackle reliability. A common problem for all L322 Range Rovers was the rear suspension bushes. The air compressor for the air suspension would break and the airbags would leak. If you see one you want to buy sitting a bit low, then just run. Then there's head gasket failure, oil leaks, the usual. But then again, all the reliability doesn't really matter, just because it's a Range Rover. Then we come to the BMW 7 Series. The 7 Series has always been on par with the Mercedes S-Class and maybe the Audi A8. Within our £5,000 budget, there are still many models to choose from. You could get a 2003 730i with a 3-litre straight six petrol engine. Or you could get a 745i with a 4.4-litre V8. There was a diesel, the 730D. There was a 740i and a 750i. All these cars were in long wheelbase or short wheelbase forms. All of them still have their fair share of issues. Even the diesels have a half decent 0-60 time. Also, if you can find one, there is a 760i available with a 6-litre V12. I'll let you decide if it's better than the S-Class. The Jaguar XF. It is amazing that you can get one of these for under 5 grand. You can get quite a good example too. You can have a 3-litre TDV6 2010 version in the luxury trim. The 3-litre V6 diesel is torquey, frugal and quick. This was also the first Jaguar Land Rover product to have that weird rising gear knob that was quite cool in some ways. Most of these for sale are automatics, but there are manual versions available. But in a luxury Jag, you need an auto. The 3-litre diesel was used in the Discovery 4, the later L405 Range Rover and other Jags as well. The engine is very smooth, the 6-speed gearbox works effortlessly, and most of all, it's a Jag. The Audi A8. The A8 was always the baby brother to the S-Class. With our 5 grand budget, there are a couple of engines to choose from. You could get the 3-litre V6 turbo diesel or the 4.2-litre V8 turbo diesel. I'd recommend the 4.2 V8, purely because you get the economy of a diesel but the performance of a petrol. And when I say the performance of a petrol, I mean it's quick. 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds quick. These cars came with long and short wheelbase form. There isn't much point going for the long wheelbase because 1, it looks a bit weird, 2, the car is harder to park, and 3, because the short wheelbase still has plenty of room in the back. These cars are well spec'd most of the time, so you can expect to find many toys, and most likely some marijuana. The Lexus LS430, really the working man's Rolls-Royce Phantom, or the Japanese man's. This car has a buttery smooth and bulletproof 4.3 litre naturally aspirated V8 producing around 280 brake horsepower. It's smooth to drive and extremely comfortable inside. Some people who bought it new opted for the early 2000s DVD players in the headrests. Quite advanced for its time. Now, there weren't many of these sold in the UK, and there is only one or two on Auto Trader, unfortunately. Though the engine is very reliable, it is still a luxury car at the end of the day, so they are going to be complicated and the electronics will go wrong at some point in its life. The Porsche Cayenne. Now, just stay with me on this one. The Cayenne is a fast, luxury 4x4, and there is no doubt about that. And yes, I know, the way it looks is a bit iffy to some people. Personally, I don't think it looks very nice. But let me explain to you why I think it deserves a place on this list. Engine choices. You could have a 3.2 litre V6 petrol which doesn't have enough power to justify the shit fuel economy. Don't buy the V6. Get the naturally aspirated 4.5 litre V8. It's got a good amount of poke. But if you want even more poke than that, you can go for the full bollocks out 4.5 litre V8 turbo. The Cayenne has all the creature comforts you would expect from a luxury car that's worth under £5,000. Just remember to steer clear of the ones with tasteless body kits and 23-inch wheels, as those ones would have been owned by someone who had a hobby for the distribution of pharmaceuticals. And that's about it. Please let me know if I've missed anything, and thank you for watching.